Hi, I'm Professor Jay Zagorsky, and in this video I want to explain how we know when the United States economy is in a recession. The U.S. economy constantly moves up and down over time. The economic term for these changes is the business cycle. Periods of growth are called expansions or boom periods. Businesses are selling more, people have jobs, and investors are optimistic. The opposite happens during periods of decline. Fewer people are working, businesses sell less, and investors are just downright gloomy. These periods are called recessions, and very severe periods are called depressions. The old joke is that a recession is when your neighbor loses their job, and a depression is when you lose yours. Deciding when the United States is in a recession or expansion is not done by the government. Instead, it's determined by a nonpartisan organization called the National Bureau of Economic Research, or shortened to just NBER. How does the group decide? Many journalists use 2 quarters of falling GDP as their definition. However, the NBER doesn't use this rule because U.S. GDP figures are frequently revised. Deciding when the United States is in a recession based on numbers that are constantly moving just doesn't make a lot of sense. Instead, the dating committee looks at a lot of data, and their goal is to see exactly when there's a significant decline in economic activity, and when that significant decline ends. Within the NBR is a small group called the Business Cycle Dating Committee. No, not that kind of date. This group currently is made up of 9 very senior professors, and they meet whenever the economy appears to be in trouble. They officially decide when a recession begins and when it ends, and their announcement typically comes months or even years after the recession is over. So how do they decide? First, they look at employment figures to see if people still have jobs. Then, they look at income figures to check if people are earning more money or less. Then, they look at retail and wholesale trade to see if people are still shopping or cutting back on their purchases. They also check industrial production to see how much workers are actually creating. Then, they put all these data together and make a call. There's no formal procedure. Instead, it's done based on the feelings and wisdom of a small group of wise and experienced people. The NBR's record of all the economic ups and downs stretches all the way back to the 1850s. Over the last century and a half, the U.S. economy has experienced 33 recessions. That means recessions on average occur roughly once every 5 years. And over this whole time period, the longest economic expansion was only 1 decade long. So how long does the typical recession and expansion last? This table shows all the recessions since the end of World War II. Since the 1940s, the typical recession has lasted a little less than 1 year, and the typical expansion about 5 years. The key idea to remember is that recessions happen relatively frequently. Nobody has the power to stop a recession. However, by planning ahead, you can reduce a downturn's impact. The simplest way is to save money and pay off debts during good economic times. Then, when bad economic times occur, you have a financial cushion that provides some protection. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos for a better economic understanding of the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.